currently traveling to Night City on sort of a detour. They had chartered a boat down to New Orleans. Boat being run by Clearly and Grace. It turns out Clearly and Grace are part of an eco-terrorist group who want to stop Corpo influence on the river. Party was, of course, dragged into this. They blew up a chemical plant in a fiery and colorful explosion. And they just arrived at New Orleans. So that's where we will start. So on the morning of the 5th day of their journey, you arrive in New Orleans. Go ahead and switch to that picture if you want to. The city is only a shadow of the greatness it once was. You find that New Orleans has been essentially split into two parts. The levees that held back the ocean waters gave way long ago, and now most of the city is now a sort of poor imitation of Venice. The dry areas of New Orleans have been rebuilt by corporations to fuel their money gains. Despite its conditions, the city still thrives. Water taxis, small boats, and motor gondolas have replaced cars, and overhead walkways connect city blocks. Clearly pulls the boats on a nearby dock in the heart of the city. Well, that's all she wrote. If you find yourselves looking for travel on the river again, just give me a holler.
Thanks, Chum. Sig's gonna gather up her gear, her bags, and start making her way off the boat and onto the dock.
Oh, and before I forget, here's a chip for my cousin Joe. He owes me a favor. Let him know I've come to collect. He can help you get wherever it is you're going next.
Cousin Joe? I'm assuming he's one of your contacts in the city.
He lives out on the oil colonies and by the ocean.
All right, then. Everybody ready?
I think Mimi's like kind of standing not that far off from you. I think Sig would take notice that she's still kind of got that look in her eye from the other night after watching the explosions. And she's got a cigarette between her lips, and she's just sort of waiting for you to start going.
Hey, Clearly.
Yeah.
You know anywhere around here we can get a bite to eat this morning?
Favorite place, Burns, just down the boardwalk.
Thanks, Chum. Be seeing you around.
Don't be strangers now.
Is Grace standing there, or is she like off doing Grace things?
She is actually also getting off the boat. You had heard Clearly mention that she needs to gather more supplies.
Ah. I imagine Sig like kind of tosses like a nod and a little wink her way before she moves along.
She'll also exchange winks at you.
All right, who's ready for some breakfast?
Yeah, I could use some breakfast and a nice warm coffee.
Colt just mumbles, coffee. And he looks dead inside. He's just got a like a half-burned lit cigarette dangling from his lip, just attached by spit. Looking 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah, I imagine we would all just make our way off the docks toward the diner you mentioned then.
Okay. So on the side of the boardwalk, you find Vern's, an old diner which now sits on an odd angle atop a crude platform of old shipping crates. The diner creaks gently as the waves lap against the sides. See me go in?
This looks like the place.
Faded fly ribbons dangle in front of you as you enter the water-soaked building. Despite conditions outside, the inside resembles a roadside charm. Cracked leather seats, a jukebox still audible over the slosh of outside waves playing Jump by Van Halen, and a trucker's red cap sits on the bar. On a white background, the cap reads, "I break for big rigs." I assume you take your seat at a table?
Yeah.
Colt's gonna put his hand on the Sig's shoulder and say, "Get Booth," as he walks past and heads towards the restroom.
Yeah, she's gonna do that. She's gonna take a seat at a booth.
I think Mimi would sit across from her, and she's already got the laptop out, and she's like tippy tapping away and doing her thing.
Axel would take a seat next to Mimi across from Sig. And wait for the waitress to come by.
Okay. You take your seat at the table. A waitress hands you a menu. There's not much. Synth eggs, collard greens, and grits.
We go ahead and
I'll
get a order of coffees around.
You're writing it down.
I'll take some grits with some eggs.
Adriana says, "Nothing for me. I'm not hungry."
Sig is gonna glance up at the waitress after everyone kind of goes silent and does one of these. And she's gonna look across the table at her sister, and she lights a cigarette and kind of leans forward. You know, Bug, staring at that screen all day can't be good for your eyes. Maybe take a break every once in a while.
I think she'll sort of flick her eyes up at you and then back down at the screen and very quietly murmur to you, "I'm talking to Boris."
Right. Well, lively bunch this morning.
I think hearing that, Mimi will kind of sigh and close the laptop. And then she'll probably end up taking a cigarette from your pack and the lighter and lighting up a cigarette and just sort of like stares at you ahead as if she's expecting a conversation to start.
What's crawled up your ass?
I can ask the same for you.
Same me as always.
I don't think Mimi says anything back. I think she just kind of stares at you, almost like as if she's just looking right over your shoulder.
Hug, you're freaking me out. Right.
I don't know what to tell you. Everything's fine, right as rain.
Well, we've made it to New Orleans.
We'd call that cart guy.
Yeah, I mean, we'll wait for Colt to get back before we make any planning.
Colt is in the restroom, and as he's walking to the restroom, his vision starts canting. It's like he's not level, and he starts to hear the faint sounds of women and children screaming and crying and automatic gunfire in the distance. And he stumbles into the bathroom. And he reaches into his jacket to produce his remaining baggie of synth coke, and it's dusted. There's just residue and random bits. So he takes his finger and licks it and then rubs it through the bag and rubs it in his gums to get as much as he can, but it's not enough. Fuck! And he punches the paper towel dispenser. And he looks himself in the mirror. He's not sure if it's himself staring back or another person anymore. So he just runs cold water through his hands, splashes his face, and towels off and heads back to the diner. He takes a seat next to everybody.
We've been able to hear any of that yelling.
Definitely.
Okay.
I mean, he punched the paper towel dispenser almost off.
I think when you sit down, Sig's kind of like side-eyeing you and watching you sit.
And he just completely composed again. Just like nonchalantly grabs one of Sig's cigarettes, lights it up, sits next to her and says, "You guys get coffee?"
Yeah, I got us around. Seems like everyone's in a great mood today.
You had a little trouble in the bathroom?
They were out of towels.
Did you have the shits? And she'll look at Colt like directly in the eye. She's like mocking him, really.
No, I'm fine, thank you.
Sometimes I get the shits too. It's okay.
Colt's just gonna keep smoking.
She's just maintaining eye contact at this. Too much coffee, you know. And she's gonna, once that has died down, she'll get the laptop back out again and is just clacking away at the keys.
Colt, he just, without turning his head or moving at all, he looks over at Sig. And then, like, directs his eyes to, darts his eyes over to Mimi a few times, as if to question what the hell's going on.
Sig's just kind of gonna shrug at him and shake her head. Take another sip of her coffee.
So what's the plan here?
Well, we gotta figure out what's up with this Hart guy. Go have a chat with him, suss him out, gauge the situation. Not saying we're actually gonna work with the guy, but we should at least give it a shot, you know? We're here. I've got a good amount of training in sussing people out.
Yeah, let's talk with the guy. We've been working with him already. What else can happen? They try to hit us with missiles in a blimp, you know?
We're like cockroaches, Jim. Can't kill us. At least hopefully not yet. Dearest referee, remind me, did we get Hart's number? Were we supposed to call him when we got here kind of situation?
Yeah, you're supposed to call him when you get here.
Okay.
You've already called him before, so you know his
Right.
number.
Well, here goes nothing. She's gonna pull her cell phone out of her leather jacket and flip it open and dial in the number.
After a few rings, you hear the phone pick up. Hart.
Zig.
You hear new ones?
Yeah, we made it.
Let's arrange a meeting. Stop by my apartment in the red light district when you get the chance.
You wanna toss me the cords on that?
You hear some beeping from his phone, and you see the text message come up with his address, coordinates.
How soon you want us there, Hart?
Soon as possible.
No
And make
funny
sure you bring
business?
Adriana. No funny business.
Right. Why you need to see the girl so bad?
Make sure she's alright. I haven't seen her in person myself.
She's fine. She might look a little different though, but she's fine. Look, we'll be there when you want us. I'm not making a guarantee on the girl. Don't know if I can trust you yet, Hart. You haven't given me any reason to.
That's fair. Just make sure you come.
Yeah. What's that time again?
When you can make it.
Just whenever. Alright. Got a boogie chum. See you soon. She just hangs up the phone.
What'd you say?
Gave me the cords to his spot. He's got an apartment in the red light district. Says we can stop on by whenever we want. Told me he wanted me to bring the girl, Adriana. She's gonna... Where's Adriana sitting?
Let's say next to Axel.
Okay, she like glances across the table. Mrs. Young, would you like to come with us, or would you like us to secure you somewhere comfortable to sit and wait it out?
I don't mind either way. I feel like I'd be safer with you, though.
I told him it was no guarantee we bring the girl, and he said that's fine as long as we show up. So it's really up to us what we want to do here.
I don't like him saying the chords. But then again, I didn't expect to go for a swim in the Mississippi.
I feel like this whole job's been a whole hell of a lot of unexpected. Axel, you got any weigh in on this?
I feel like we hold more cards if we don't bring Miss Young with us.
If we don't bring Miss Young, then we don't bring all of us. Someone's got to watch the girl if we don't bring her. We'll bring her. We could leave her in the car. Have someone sit with her. You weighing in now, Bug? Not too busy with Boris?
She sort of cuts you a look, and in that moment, Sig might realize just how much Mimi looks like our dad.
Look, Bug, you're a part of the team just as anybody else is.
Do you want me to sit in with her or not?
It's up to you. What do you think we should do? You're the smart one.
You hold the cards if you keep her away. You need somebody to watch her. I've got baby Phil. And I've got Boris for backup if I need to call.
Good point. Maybe Colt could stay with you? She's gonna look kind of like side glance Colt.
What's the point?
I don't know if he's in much of a state to be talking to people.
Colt
No
takes
offense,
a
Colt.
really long drag off his smoke, basically like half the cigarette, then puts it out on the table, and he just blows it all over the place. He says, "You're gonna put me on babysitting duty?"
Not babysitting. She's not a baby anymore. She's like, when she says that, she just kind of deadpans you across the table. Bones.
I think you get one back, you get an equally empty expression. She just sort of stares at you hard. There's no smile. There's no, like, oh, now I'm not a baby anymore. Nothing. Just nothing. Just vacant.
It's more so a little damage control, Colt. You're a little tense right now. Plus,
What if you guys get jumped?
I highly doubt it. I don't know. Especially if we don't bring Miss Young. He wants to know where she's at. Pretty bad. He kills the only two people that know where she's at in his presence, then he's gonna have a little bit of a problem there, won't he? Feel like me and Axel can make it back pretty safely. We're both talkers. I think we could get a good gauge, the two of us, on the situation. What do you think, Axel?
And that's a pretty good plan. Talk our way out of anything.
Colt looks at Sig, and then he looks over at Axel, and he looks back at Sig. He's like, "All right. I mean, I guess it's your funerals, but just stay clear of trouble, okay?"
We'll look at it like this, Colt. We got our best gunner watching our best asset.
And he draws out another cigarette and lights it and says, yeah, okay."
If all else fails, just throw a bomb, Mimi.
Yeah. Pretty good at that, aren't I?
One of the best I know.
I think considering the circumstance of the situation, I think uncharacteristically, sort of for Mimi, she's gonna smile over at Adriana and say, "Wow, we'll have plenty of time to talk about cloning and the ventures of great scientific discovery, won't we, Dr. Young?"
Yes, and I would like to learn more about explosives, if you don't mind.
You can work on that shrapnel bomb we were talking about with the nickels.
I kind of
Find
mind.
nickels.
Look
You'll be
at
fine.
us, one big happy family.
We don't need two of them making clocks at the bombs for us to find, you know?
Could be useful if Miss Young learns a new talent. Quite the smart one. Little scientist. Put her to work in the team.
It's all harmless fun.
Yeah, see?
Shrapnel bombs are harmless fun. Yeah, of course, Mrs. Young.
Absolutely.
You've clearly grown up sheltered.
Colt drains his coffee, his eyes just peering over the top of the mug at Mimi and Adriana, and thoughts racing through his mind now which one it's going to be that blows off one of his limbs.
At this point, the waitress brings over your food.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm the only one that ordered food, actually.
Hey,
you
waitress, you think I can maybe get some of those synth eggs? All this coffee's sitting pretty heavy in me.
Coming right up, darling.
When she walks away, she Siga's gonna glance around the tables. Everyone talk with that accent here?
Unfortunately, so.
I could get used to it. It's kind of cute.
You notice a young man, who's sitting at the bar, gets up and heads to the payphone. He's speaking in a hushed tone as he makes quick glances in your general direction. He hangs up the phone and makes his exit.
Sig's gonna stand up and try to cut him off.
Yeah, Colt was just staring at him when he was doing that, holding this smoke-ass coffee, and as soon as he starts bolting, he's dropping everything and heading out towards that guy.
You run into him and he holds up his hands as in like shock that you would, stop him.
Colt's gonna scruff him by his jacket and push him against the wall.
I think Sig's just kind of like standing behind Colt with their arms folded, like, Jesus fucking Christ. This guy's always gonna make a fucking scene. She's
You
just
got a
gonna
problem,
wait.
pal?
No, I don't want any trouble.
You see something you like?
No, I don't mean any trouble.
Who you calling over there, huh?
Just a friend.
Yeah, friend, okay. And then he's gonna like kind of set him down, but then he's gonna start rifling through this guy's coat and his pockets, looking for an ID.
I would like to run a check if I think he is lying. I believe that's human perception.
Yes. Colt, you rummage through his things and you produce his ID. His name is Jim Allen.
Jim Allen. I got a 13 on that.
What were we checking for again?
Whether or not he's lying.
So he seems to be very nervous, but you're not sure if it's because he's lying or because Colt is very scary looking. So he's definitely nervous. You're just not sure if it's for what you think it is.
What was his name again?
Jim Allen.
Sig is gonna kind of glance over Colt's shoulder, looking at the things that he's gotten. Jim Allen. He looks up at Jim. I've never trusted a man with two first names.
You don't sound like a Jim Allen to me. Where'd you say you're from?
I'm from Connecticut.
Say that again?
Connecticut?
Bullshit. And he's going to slam him against the wall. Who the fuck are you?
I'm Jim Allen. I don't know what's going on.
It's Jim Allen, normal man. Normal human Jim Allen.
Human man, duh.
Leave him alone. He's just a normal human man, Jim Allen.
Sig is kind of gonna like touch Colt's shoulder very softly and move around to his side. Why don't we just calm down a little bit, gentlemen? Look, and she gets closer to Jim Allen, who I'm assuming Colt is still holding onto very aggressively. And
He's got him like almost on the floor completely by his jacket. And it's just like heaving over him like he's about to smash him.
yeah, so Sig is kneeled down and she's kind of tapping Colt's back. Look, gentlemen, Colt, you are making a scene.
Looks around. Is anybody looking at us?
At this moment, the waitress comes back from behind the kitchen and she says, I'd be careful with that one if I were you. He's part of one of the mercenary gangs. Kaiju Hunters, I think it's called. Bayou Slim runs a thing.
Asian hunters? Tell me more, waitress. What's your name?
Agatha.
What a lovely name, Agatha. What do you know about these Cajun hunters?
The bounty hunters looking out for anybody who seems suspicious or could be some worth.
Oh. Our little Jim Allen noticed us, didn't he? Agatha, you're a fucking doll. You're gonna get a good tip, darling. Anything else I should know about them?
They aren't too keen on keeping their targets alive. If you catch the wind of their... Of course, lawmen do nothing about it as they run on their corpo's dimes.
Working for corpos? Jim Allen, you wouldn't do anything like that now, would you? She's like looking down. She's stood up to talk to the waitress at this point, and she's looking down at Jim now.
No, I would never do that.
Stand him up, Colt, but keep your arms on him.
Oh, Jim Allen, the little bounty hunter from funny Connecticut. And he picks him up and slams him against the wall. And he's like, motherfucker, who are you working for? And he pulls out his handgun, puts it under his chin.
Please don't. I work for Bayou Slim.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a very nice name.
Bayou Slim. Why don't you bring him back to our booth, Colt? Maybe he could have breakfast with us. I like this game.
Hey, we have a bunch of coffee and cigarettes. Join us.
Only if you're a good boy, Jim. She's gonna walk ahead and like slide into her seat in the booth, hoping that he's gonna put Jim between them.
Oh yeah, he's got Colt's got Jim in like a pretty tight hold around the neck, like they're buddies. But he's kind of crushing, or he's kind of pinching that right artery. So if he needs to put him to sleep real fast, he can do it. And then they're walking towards the booth after Sig.
Please don't hurt me. I'll tell you anything.
When they get closer, she's like tapping the seat next to her on the booth. That's great, Jim. I would love for you to tell us everything. Come have a seat. Have a seat. Meet the family.
Then when they get to the booth, Colt's gonna kind of like two-handed shove him into the booth, and then pile in, like pinch him in against Sig, pin him in there as soon as he sits down.
She's gonna like lean forward and look past Jim to Colt. You know, you're not much of a talker, but you're a great brute, Colt. Kudos.
He's drawing a cigarette out light, and it's like, I am pleased.
I see. She's gonna slip her hand closest to Jim under the table and like grip his inner thigh with her hand.
Okay.
So Jim, you want to start talking to us? You want to tell my friends here who you are?
My name is Jim Allen.
And who do you work for, Jim Allen?
I work for Bayou Slim.
Isn't that fun?
It's pretty fun. I could probably figure out exactly who he called on that phone.
You could take a guess. Apparently they're part of the Cajun Hunters, local group, mercenary squad. You know, the usual. Reporting to corpos, more than likely. You want to tell us any more? Jim Allen? I know there's more in you. Why were you looking at us so funny while you were on the phone over there? And she's gonna give his thigh a nice squeeze and her nails dig in just a little bit.
When I heard you say Adriana Young, I knew it was you. Every bounty hunter this side of Mississippi has heard of you.
Yeah.
The standing offer by Norcross is 1 million eddies for Adriana's return.
You hear that, guys? 1 million eddies for this girl. It just keeps getting better and better. Miss Young, what do you think?
Well, I knew they would eventually come for us, but 1 million eddies, that's more than I could have imagined.
You're worth quite the pretty penny. Bad we screwed that face up. Maybe we'll get it fixed for you sometime.
I was just going to say, do we still have that face around? Maybe we could sell that for 1 million eddies.
Should have saved it.
We could have put it on somebody else.
You guys have her face. You put it like a freezer bag.
Yeah, we got it
we
in a
have
doggy
That's her
bag.
face.
I think you do.
I do.
I think Mimi has it.
Oh, Mimi has it.
On wax paper.
I was gonna say, I like instantly went to my inventory. Like, I know I put everything in my inventory. No, Adriana Young's face is not in there, unfortunately.
I'm fairly certain Mimi's been carrying it around this whole time.
I remember specifically you guys.
Keeping it.
Putting it, yeah.
Yes, because I had asked for it.
It sounds like some fucked up shit we would do, honestly. So I believe it.
Keep it away from Colt's fruit roll-ups, okay?
They look very similar, to be honest.
Mimi's just rolled the face up in the bag and then put it in the center of the fruit roll-ups as a prank.
Yeah. Yummy. Why is my fruit roll-up fluff flavored? That's a tongue twister.
Well, Jim, it seems like you might have a little problem here, considering you just got caught by us and your mouth is just a bit too big for your face, isn't it?
I told you everything I know. Now please let me leave.
I don't know. Does anyone else remember him on a phone across from us? Definitely trying to get us killed.
I remember that pretty easily, and I think, Colt's pretty scary. My sister here, she's pretty freaky. But I'm pretty much your worst fucking nightmare. And I think that you just put all of us in danger. And I'll be honest with you, Jim Allen. I think you're fucked.
What are you going to do with me?
I can do a whole bunch of horrible things to you. I like to see what things look like on the inside.
She does.
Can I see what you look like on the inside, Jim?
You there. You're not going to let them do this to me, are you? He's looking at Axel.
You probably deserve it. You put our lives in jeopardy. That's all I'm gonna say. I do think we are on a short clock, though, if he did call who he says. So we need to do it and get out of here. Or bring him with us and torture him there.
We could take him with us for a little ride. There's plenty of canals around here.
Mm-hmm.
You ever been swimming in the canals before, Jim?
Once or twice.
How about swimming with cement shoes? You ever tried that?
Can't say I have.
Well, it's a first for everything, isn't there?
And it'll last.
Just gonna look around the group. I think it might be time for us to boogie.
Yep. I
Think
guess
so.
so.
Okay, so you all leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Sig does pay the waitress. She's gonna
Okay.
stop at her on the way out, and she's gonna pay the bill plus like an extra like 50 eddies for the info.
Okay, so let's say that's 100 eddies
All right.
for everything. Thank you kindly. Make sure you come by again. Toodaloo.
Thank you, darling. When we leave, what do we see around us?
So you see everything is sort of there's the boardwalk, right? It's sort of like a sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the river, the Mississippi River, which has essentially replaced the roads. So you see like boats, gondolas, and that sort of thing.
Okay.
You can get like a taxi, like a like a boat taxi.
Is there anywhere immediately around us that gives us a bit of privacy to deal with Mr. Allen?
There are alleys. If you want to go around the alleys, or
Okay.
you could go down a side canal.
Ooh, there's side canals, like alleys with water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Sig would spot an area like that, and she would point to the rest of the group. How about we take Mr. Allen on a walk over there? That looks like a nice spot.
Looks good to me.
Colt's going to shove him.
I'm going. Okay, so you make your way to the side alley, I guess. I forget what I called it. Anyways, you made it there. You don't see anybody else around.
She's gonna look to Colt. I feel like you have some tension you need to deal with. And I feel like Jim Allen is perfect man to release that tension on. Don't you, Colt? You feel that?
You want me to kick his ass?
I want you to make sure that he never talks again. And however you do that is up to you. In the meantime, I'm gonna go find us a taxi to get where we need to go.
Okay.
Mimi? Axel? Miss Young, I don't think you need to watch this.
That's probably for the best.
I think Mimi's gonna sort of put her back against the wall and sort of look over at Colt and then back at Sig and say, I can keep an eye out just in case something gets weird.
Sounds good. I'll go get us a ride.
I'll follow Sig, basically shielding Miss Young from anything she could see. While we walk away and just hear the sounds of pounding, I'm sure.
Would we be able to rent like a car or just get a taxi, or
You could rent a boat.
we could rent a boat?
Yes. There's no cars. There's no roads for cars to drive on.
And
You could-
the taxis are just like boats too. Everything is boats. So we could do
Yes.
either.
Yep.
All right.
You can get covered boats.
Very fancy.
So where are Colt and
Jim. So
Jim Allen?
Jim is now on his knees. He's holding your hand. He's kissing it.
This is. I thought this is a water alley.
It is.
It is. So he's standing in like.
No,
Wait, he's like
you're on the boardwalk.
on the boardwalk.
Next, like there's the boardwalk goes around it, around the nearby building,
Okay.
and then there's just a small canal essentially. So you're
Is there-
still walking on.
Is there an area that is out, obscured from view from everyone else?
That's where you are right
Mhm.
now.
Colt's going to just like boot him in the chest as he's standing over holding his Colt trained on him. He's going to say, "Shut the fuck up. Shut your fucking mouth. I'm not going to kill you. I am going to crack you upside the head. You're just going to stay here for a little bit until we're gone."
Jim will just hold his hands up, like in a, don't hit me sort of fashion.
Colt's just going to pistol whip him.
Okay, he falls
Knock him
on.
out.
He falls unconscious.
And then he heads back to the group.
I'd say by this time Sig has hailed a taxi for them and is kind of waiting there for everybody else to show up.
Colt just comes striding past really quickly and just said, "Job's done. Let's go."
Sig assumes that when he says that he killed him, and she just smiles and nods and gets into the boat.
Axel just helps Miss Young in and gets in after her.
All right, Colt and Mimi, you hop in on this boat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you give the coordinates to the boat driver,
Mm-hmm.
and he takes you over to the red light district. You arrive at Hart's apartment, a dingy two-room job on the second floor of a dilapidated building. The first floor is a greasy diner that caters to the streetwalkers and thugs that frequent the rooftops and canals of the area. So now you're standing right in front of his door. Who is staying behind with Adriana?
Colt.
Colt and Mimi are.
Okay, so you stay in the taxi. Let's say you just pay him to just sort of drive around.
That's good.
Okay, so we have Sig and Axel. You're at his Heart's front door.
I'd imagine Sig is standing in front of the door and she's gonna give it a nice knock.
You open the door, and let me switch to... Where is he? There he is. Switched scenes there. You see inside a quiet, well-furnished apartment, which allows Hart's guests to feel comfortable. You see Hart there. Well, if it isn't country's most wanted edgerunners in the flesh. Come in and make yourselves comfortable.
Don't mind if I do. She's gonna walk past and have a seat.
I
Yeah,
see-
Axel would walk in behind Sig, let her go in first.
Okay. I see you didn't bring Adriana with you.
She's alive, I assure you.
Hope so.
I don't think we'd still be doing this if she wasn't.
All right, so the three of you take your seats inside his apartment. You know, Norcross has been looking for you all over the country. It seems you've given them the slip.
You're not telling me anything I don't know already. So what's the deal, Hart? You want to lay it out for us?
Here's a score. I don't know anything about your rendezvous once you get into Night City. You'll have to contact them once you arrive. I'll help you get there. The mainland is getting too hot. I think I know a way to cool off the trail.
And how's that?
We can get you off the mainland for a while. Should be able to get you some breathing room. I could arrange transport between New Orleans to Night City, but it would be a huge risk. It's a long drive, and you'll run into a lot of people between here and the West Coast. I've been trying to get a hookup with a private charter flight. The closest I've been able to come to is Galveston, Texas. It's a personal friend, someone I can trust. You won't fly at New Orleans, though. A little bad blood with some of the locals.
Wouldn't be those Cajun hunter folk, would it?
Could be, but I think it's some of the nomad clans that live out in the Gulf oil fields. It can be rough.
Don't like those nomads, do you?
They're different people. They only trust those who are with their family.
While he's talking to her, she's kind of soaking in her surroundings. She's pretty hyper vigilant right now. She doesn't trust this Hart character, and she's trying to get a read on him. Is there anything that she notices around the apartment? Does anything stick out to her about him?
You do see a picture on the on his mantle. It's a picture of a well-dressed Asian man in a suit, a white suit.
Do I recognize this person?
You don't recognize him.
You know, Hart, all of this seems a little bit fishy. Our last fixer going dark. And then here you are, pop right back up in his place. Seem a bit odd to you?
Elliot and I were good friends. It's the least I could do for him.
How long did you know Elliot for?
15 years or so.
You handled business for him? Worked with him?
He helped me back when I worked with Arasaka. He helped me get away from them.
Used to work for Arasaka.
In my younger days, things didn't work out.
Who's the picture on the mantle then? Old Arasaka friend?
That's Akano. He's the one who helped me get into the fixer business.
But you don't work for Arasaka no more, right?
Those days are over.
Can I roll to see if he's lying?
Go ahead.
How big is his apartment?
It's not very big. It's like,
Like a studio?
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So you rolled a 23 there. You can tell there was some sort of hiccup in what he was saying. Like when you questioned him, you felt that there was sort of a delay in his answer.
Right. Well, glad you're not working for that corpo piece of shit anymore. It's always nice to meet another man of the streets like ourselves. So you want us heading to Galveston, you said?
That's right.
How the hell am I supposed to get there, Hart?
The nomads down in the oil fields, they're not the nicest bunch, but I'm sure you could figure out a way through them.
And they're gonna get us to Galveston.
Once you're in Galveston, you're home free.
So I just show up and tell a bunch of nomads what the fuck to do. And poof, magically in Galveston. You sure do have an imagination on you, Hart. Did you learn that in corpo training?
This has all been on short notice. I haven't been able to get all the kinks in the plan worked out.
Man, Hart, I am just so sorry that everything's been so fucking short notice for you. What do you think, Axel? Are you sorry that everything's been so short notice from him?
No, not at all. I feel like we understand a short notice. I don't think you've understood a short notice.
I think short notice is giving us whiplash at this point. This phone number I called you on, that's still good then?
The direct line to me.
Direct line to you. Boy, aren't I lucky.
Heard that one before.
Yeah. Well, any other little snippets of information you want to give me before I head back to home base and figure out how the fuck I'm going to get through a group of nomads for you?
Nothing else. Have a safe trip.
Have a safe fucking trip. Did you hear that, Axel? Have a safe trip.
It's been anything but safe. I bet your boy Elliot has understood that. Kind of makes me wonder why you decided to stick your own neck out, knowing what happened to him.
Job's got to get done.
It sure does.
Well, this has been enlightening to say the least. She's gonna approach Hart and hold a hand out to him.
He shakes your hand.
She returns that handshake very firmly, looking him in the eye. Well, thanks, Hart. You'll be hearing from us soon, I'm sure. And you'll be here.
Right here.
Wonderful. Well, I hate to make Mrs. Young wait. See you later, Choom. She's gonna start walking towards the exit.
All right. You open the door and step out.
She is going to make her way back out to the street. Axel, are you following?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so after a few moments, you see the boat taxi with Mimi and Colt.
While we're waiting there, Axel, you notice Sig, she's just like dead silent, totally closed, just like super focused in thought and waiting for this taxi to show up.
Something's not right about this.
Let's
I got a
hold our
feeling.
tongue until we're a little further away then.
Yeah.
And then when she sees the boat, she's gonna climb on. And she is going to look to the group when she gets in. I think we need to find somewhere to have a chat. Somewhere private. No prying eyes. No other people. Just us. 5 of us.
Hotel room for the night.
Yeah. I don't want to be too far from our nomad friends, though. We're so fucking lucky for Clearly and Grace, you guys don't even know. Hey, driver. You know any rooms by the oil fields? Any hotels?
Sure, I could take you there.
That'd be great.
All right, so the taxi makes its way along the canal, and you stop at like a waterlogged hotel. There's the entrance there in the middle of, it's like the front room is on the bottom floor, and then the rooms going up on the second and third floor. That makes sense.
Yeah. She's gonna go up to like the front desk and get a room for everyone.
Okay, so you make your reservations and you head up into the room. It's not it's not the greatest room. It's very small and cramped. There's 2 beds and like a desk, and there's a small TV on the wall.
I think Mimi would just go in and just kind of sit on the bed. She's just sort of not completely bent over, but leaning on her knees.
Yeah, I think Sig follows her in and kind of drops all of her stuff off to the side. Her big tote bag.
Colt is going to be sitting cross-legged, shirtless, but his jacket is rolled out, and on top of his jacket, he's stripping his and cleaning his weapons one at a time while he's smoking a cigarette. He's not hunched over, he's just like sitting rigidly up straight doing that. Just eyes closed.
This heart guy. Oh, go ahead, Axel.
Axel, he'll walk in, turn the TV on. You said the TV in here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll turn the TV on, turn the volume up to give some background noise. Because you never know how thin these walls can be in these places. And he'll go sit down at a table and just wait for everybody else to get comfy in the room.
Adriana's going to sit on the floor.
Sega's gonna take a seat at like the classic little table inside the motel room and light a cigarette and sit back and kind of glance at everyone across the room and start off. This heart guy's fucked. He's off. Ex-Arasaka. At least he says so, but I don't believe it. Something didn't quite add up. He was lying, I could tell by the way he looked, by the way he spoke to me. You know, he's actually wants us to go fight our way into the Nomads to get transportation to Galveston, Texas, where we're just going to get on some magical flight and all our problems are going to be over and we're going to land directly in Night City. That's this guy's plan.
Is he stupid?
Sounds like it.
Sounds like he thinks we're stupid.
Yeah. Well, good thing we're not. Little does he know, those nomads out in the oil field, they're our new best friends. Thanks to Clearly and Grace. I think we made some good moves back there. Put our bets on the right horse. Heart's a ticket to an early grave.
I can agree to that. Something just doesn't seem to sit right with this man after Elliot disappears. He instantly gets in contact with us.
I think we need to call our nomad friends. Hell, maybe they know Hart. Maybe we can ask them about him. See what they know. But regardless, I think we should go with them. They could probably help us get across, get into Night City. Get Miss Young back to her daddy.
The guy's a rat. Colt says that right as he finishes putting his weapon together.
You nailed it, buddy. Rat if I ever saw one. He tried to look me dead in the eyes and tell me he wasn't with Arasaka anymore. Who the fuck just walks out of Arasaka? You don't quit Arasaka. Arasaka quits you. And he's still breathing and moving and talking. They own something on him, if not all of him. She's gonna pull out the little paper with the nomad contacts on it. Think I should give these guys a ring. Maybe they can help us out. Unless anyone else wants to weigh in on the situation, this might be our only way.
No. I think that you're probably right about that.
I agree.
Yeah, we don't work with that rat.
No, we don't work with that rat. She's gonna dial the number that Clearly gave her.
Okay, so you called Joe. After a moment, the line picks up. Hello, this is Joe speaking.
Hey there. You don't know me. Name's Sig. But, I got your number from Clearly. Said you could help out if I were in town. Trying to get transportation for me and my friends to Night City. Got a little job. Dangerous job.
You hear a sigh on his side. I knew this day would come. Where are you now?
Little hotel, not too far from you.
Meet me on the offshore colony docks in the morning. I can take you to my amphibian from there.
You don't want to know nothing about us. Seems a little too easy.
You know clearly, then you can be trusted.
He's a good man. Him and his daughter. Hey, before I let you go, you know anything about a man named Hart? Fixer in the city?
I've heard his name before. Never worked with him, though.
What's the word? Good, bad, ugly?
He's somewhat difficult to work with, from what I hear. But every other fixer is that way.
Fair assessment, Joe. I appreciate that. Sound like an honest man. Sound like Clearly. All right. I guess we'll see you in the morning.
See you then.
Just gonna hang up the phone. Well, looks like we got ourselves a little meeting in the morning with Joe. Says he can take us. Didn't know much about Hart, other than the fact that he's difficult to work with, but, you know, he's a fixer, so.
Well, now what? We just wait.
Got a whole day. And a whole night.
Does this area have a booze?
We're in New Orleans.
Of course it does.
I mean, in this
You could
room,
probably drink the river and get drunk.
There is a fridge with, with booze inside, yes.
okay,
Those
'cause
little
Colt
bottles.
definitely is going to grab bourbon out of whatever fridge or liquor storage there is and crack that.
Sig is gonna glance over to Mimi. Ever wanted a tour of New Orleans?
I think she's gonna sort of look you over for a second and just give a nod, a singular nod. Yeah. Let's go check out New Orleans.
How about you boys watch Young? And me and Sis are gonna go have a little fun around the city.
Leave us some smokes.
She's just gonna
just scratch his
toss
head.
you the pack in her jacket and pull a fresh one out of her bag from the carton that Mimi got her.
Colt snatches it and just nods and waves you guys.
Just maybe try not to get too wasted.
Don't kill each other.
Yeah.
I'd be really mad if I missed that.
I feel like this would be a great bonding opportunity for the two of you.
With the cigarette
Yes,
hanging
he-
from his mouth, he just mumbles, "I am the personification of self-control." He's got a bottle of bourbon and a cigarette.
Sig
One
is
in
just
each
gonna
hand.
like side-eye Mimi and then look back to Colt.
I mean, he's just wide-eyed at Colt, like, is God gonna strike us down now, or is this like a later type thing? Okay.
Girls have fun. And he's going to just pile into the corner with his bourbon and his cigarettes, and his guns.
Axel's slightly worried, but he'll grab some booze from the fridge and pour him a drink. Maybe relax some.
Sig's gonna grab her handgun out of her bag, check to see that it's loaded, rack a bullet, stick it in her inside of her leather jacket. Let's go see the city.
All right. Mimi's gonna stand up. Her hands are like stuffed in her pockets, and she's sort of leading the charge out the door.
Okay, so you head out to the boardwalk. You know, walk around. You see, there's a trio of jazz players walking by on the boardwalk. As you pass them, you see a voodoo shop just near the hotel as well.
I think Mimi's really into this voodoo shop. And she's gonna want to go in. She sort of like looks back at Sig like, we're going in. We have to go in.
Whatever you say, little sis, let's go.
And she's gonna sort of peek her head inside. I imagine like beads in the doorway type situation. Yeah.
Just there's like a normal door, but just beyond that, there's like the bead door as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I imagine Sig is just kind of like following Mimi around and letting her make the decisions on like where they go and what they do, and she's just like happy to like have this weird moment that almost feels like some vague semblance of normalcy and like what sisters would do if they weren't in this horrible constant predicament of like being hunted and wanted.
Yeah. It's I think as they're walking around and sort of like just like looking at stuff, and Mimi's kind of, because Mimi's curious by nature, right? So she likes to poke her head in things, even, you know, like people's homes. Like she's just like, she's that person, you know. But when you look at Mimi while she's doing this, and normally she would be sort of like ooh and on and her eyes all wide and like studying things, you see she's sad. I think she's almost like she sees what this could have been. That if circumstances were different, if their dad wasn't who he was, their mom who wasn't who they were, or who she was, and Sig didn't have to do the things that she did as younger to make sure that Mimi had food on the table, that this could have been every day for them. And I think Mimi sort of is grasping that in a way that is spirit breaking. And she's going to peek her head in this voodoo shop and sort of glance back at Sig one last time. And Sig might see something in her face that Mimi's saying goodbye in a way, in that look. Like that's the last time you're going to ever see that look. And she's going to sort of walk in, and before you know it, before you blink, that look's gone. And she's going to sort of just kind of mill about the shop very quietly, just picking things up and looking them over.
Sorry, Duro. I felt like you were gonna give a description of the shop, so I was gonna wait for you.
I was waiting for you if you wanted to say anything.
Yeah, I feel like Sig knows that something's up. She's not quite sure what, but she can see that Mimi's off. She's been around Mimi her entire life. And she's like really trying to grasp at this normalcy like so hard right now that when she follows Mimi into the store, she's kind of gonna like wrap an arm around her shoulder and like hang her arm there and give her like one of these, be like, look at us, little sis, just being a couple average girls, got the date ourselves.
I think Mimi's probably holding some like monkey's paw type thing and is sort of like looking it over when you come up and put your arm around her, and she sort of looks at you and she smiles, and it's a real smile. It's not something forced or fake in any means. She smiles at you, and it's like a photograph. And she nods her head and says, "Yeah, two normal girls."
Feels weird saying it.
Probably because we're not.
Never will be.
No, I guess we won't. I don't think I'd want to be normal, huh?
I feel like I've been trying to make things normal for so long that I don't even know what that is anymore. But doesn't matter. I love you, little bug.
She's gonna look at you for a long while. And she's still holding this like whatever object in her hand. And you will see that she's sort of squeezing her fingers around it. And she'll kiss the side of your temple and tell you, "I love you too." Just very simply and quietly before she puts the object back. And she'll go back to perusing and sort of slip out from under your arm. And she's just looking at everything she can get her little hands on. And she's like a cat, sort of just like slinking about and picking things up, putting them back down again. And until she sort of looks back at Sig after she's kind of happy with the way things are going and content with what she's looked at, and sort of shrugs. She looks like she's ready to move on to the next place.
All right, so two of you go about your business and take in the sights of New Orleans for as long as you wish. Eventually, it's too dark and you decide to come back.
Like Mimi would just go right in and sort of resume her spot on the bed. She's probably taking the laptop out, sending a message to Boris.
How are you doing, boys? Siga's gonna say as she walks in and drops down on the bed, clearly exhausted from running around New Orleans all day.
It's been pretty relaxing. For once, nothing happened.
What is Colt's current state right now?
He's basically hugging the corner of a wall, propped up like a scarecrow almost. Head all the way back, burning cigarette. He's probably alive.
Looks like one of you had fun. Miss Young, they treat you well today.
Yes, they did. We've just been watching TV. I don't do it very often.
Color me surprised by that.
You may as well be homeschooled.
Well, I was technically homeschooled.
Miss Young, were you homeschooled?
Technically, yes.
That's what I thought. A lot of technicalities around here.
Does it count if you're homeschooled if you're smarter than your teacher, so you just do your homework at home?
Sig just shoots you a look.
Sorry, fact's a fact.
Well, we can't all have the brains.
No, I guess not. Somebody's got to have the beauty.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm fucking beat. It's been a long day. Wouldn't be such a bad idea to get a little rest before we gotta meet up with our pals in the morning. I imagine Sig lays down in bed and she kind of brings her pack over next to her side of the bed, and she's still fully dressed with her handgun in her leather jacket, and she doesn't even like pull a blanket over. She just kind of like lays on her side and faces the wall.
Powers down.
Powers down.
Axel would be at the desk, would sit in a chair like he's in school, just flopped over, sleeping. Best comfortable way he could get.
All right, what is Colt doing?
Oh, he's passed down the corner watching the entrance.
Okay. So everybody's sort of relaxing, right?
Yeah, Mimi, if Adriana wanted to go to sleep, Mimi would have given that spot up on the bed and just like sat in a chair, and she's just still on the computer.
Okay. You all jolt awake to the shattering of glass as a bullet pierces your hotel room window. Shards explode across the jagged carpet as you scramble for cover.
Yeah, I imagine Sig just like rolls off the side of the bed.
Yeah.
And instantly starts unzipping her bag and like pulling out her rifle and fucking popping a fresh mag into it.
I think Mimi probably hit the deck and is pulling baby Phil out.
As you're diving, Mimi, you are struck by the bullet.
Oh my god. Mimi?
It hits you in the chest. Though your plate armor stops the bullet completely.
Well, I mean, that still hurts. So I think Mimi would let out a really loud, like, ugh. Like the wind's been knocked out of her. I would imagine it, yeah, if it hits her in the chest and it knocks the wind out of her, you just probably just hear Mimi like wheezing on the ground trying to catch her breath.
Axel, seeing this, would have flipped the desk over in all this commotion to get behind, and if he can reach Mimi to pull her behind the desk with him, he would do that.
Okay. Before you do that, but before you can process what's actually happening, the flimsy door bursts open, the frame splintering under the force. A canister rolls in, spewing thick plumes of smoke that rapidly fills the dingy confines. Through the haze, shadowy figures sweep in, clad head to toe in tactical gear, submachine guns drawn. Find the girl. Leave no witnesses. So let's go ahead and get combat set up. Go ahead and roll for your initiative, please. Okay. Your twos didn't show up, but I'll remember. Let me write it down over here, actually.
Oh, what? It says no valid token was selected.
That's okay. Okay, so among them is Bayou Slim. He will raise his machine gun and pepper each of you.
Do I get additional coverage for being on the floor behind the bed?
Yes. You would get an additional SP for that.
Was Axel able to pull Mimi out
Yes.
into the... Okay, got it.
Okay, so 8 of those will hit. Split among you. Push the wrong button.
Whoops.
There we go. Okay. So Sig, you're going to be hit in, well, 2 of them are going to try to hit you. Fortunately, neither one is able to hit you. The bed is providing enough cover that he's not able to hit you.
Okay.
Colt, you didn't take cover, did you?
Sir, where were these shots coming from? The window?
No, they've stepped inside.
The front door?
Yep.
Then unless there's some obstruction between me and the front door, no.
Okay. So you will take 1. Your armor will protect you, 2 in the arm, but you'll take 2 damage to your armor, but they won't penetrate.
Oh, which arm?
Your right arm.
Right. Okay.
And then Valis or Colt. No, Axel. What am I doing?
She's got the
there.
fucking cop.
You got it.
The fucking
Alright.
cop bitch.
This is all new to me. All right, Axel. You will take 2 in the chest. So your armor will protect you. You'll just take 2 damage to your armor.
Jero, did I already take 1 damage to my armor?
Yes, the initial hit
Okay.
was protected. Okay, so we have the other hunter in the room. He's also going to do a pepper. to each of you. Okay, so only 6 are going to hit this time. So, Mimi, you are not going to be hit in this. So Sig, you are going to be hit in your upper right leg, though the damage won't go through your armor. And your other leg, your two left legs take hits, but they won't penetrate through your armor, so you'll just take 2 SP hits to those.
Okay, so I just take 2 off of each of those armor, right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
No problem. Now we have Colt. Your left arm will be hit. Won't penetrate though. And your upper right leg will be hit but not penetrate. You guys have a lot of armor, by the way. You didn't know. And Axel. Axel, your left arm will be hit, will not penetrate. So take a damage to your SP. And your let's see, your upper right leg will also be hit but not penetrate. Actually, no, you will penetrate with that because you only have 4. So you will take 4 damage. So you're going to be at the end of the light damage from that hit.
And the armor is just degraded by 1, right?
Yep. Now you'll push your save button to see if you are dazed. Okay, this wound is too much for you to handle. You are going to be stunned for your turn.
All
And then we
right.
have the hunter, which is outside. He only has a single shot weapon, so we'll see who it hits. Yeah, let's see. Okay, unfortunately, this shot will miss any targets. So we'll now go to Colt. Colt, you're up. You can see through the smoke, I believe, because of your vision.
Mm-hmm. And I have a full magazine and a submachine gun. How are these guys arranged in front of me?
There are 2 guys right in front of the door. So they're like standing side by side.
Okay, and then there's a guy behind them outside the door.
That guy's outside. You can't see him, but he's out there somewhere.
But they're basically in a line.
2 guys are in a line. The other one's outside.
Also,
outside
is
the
there
window.
cover near me? Or can I... I know I wasn't in cover, but can I
You
get
could
the cover?
You could get behind a bed.
And would that take my shooting action?
No, that's your
Move.
movement.
Okay, so can I move to the bed and then dump my magazine on these 2 guys?
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. And what do I do again? Let's see. I gotta...
So you
Combat.
will find your weapon.
Yep.
Make sure you have a +3 on your close range.
Close range. Okay, got it. And smart gun.
Smart gun. Yep.
Yep.
And then you can push the roll button next to your gun
Okay.
to see your attack.
And I don't add any other modifiers, just hit submit.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so 9 of these shots will hit. So you'll go over to the drop down next to the auto fire and push 9.
Okay.
And you'll push the blue button. Now you're splitting up your attacks between the two of them?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the first 5 will hit Bayou Slim, and then the 4 will hit the Headhunter. Okay, first one's going to hit his leg, his right leg, but will not penetrate. The second will hit his abdomen, which is just covered well enough that he doesn't take damage. Oh, there's a headshot in there. He's going to take 1 damage from that. That goes through his head armor. Okay, he is going to be dazed for his next turn. And then he also takes a damage in his abdomen again. Okay. Now we will go to Sig. Actually, what am I thinking? We're not even done shooting yet.
I have to do this 2 more times, right? Because I have a 30-round magazine, and I rolled 9 attacks, right? Is that right?
Your attack was 24.
I think the magazine's like 34. The rate of fire is 30.
No, it's based on your attack. So
Oh,
the
fair.
difference between your attack and the DC.
Okay.
That's how many. If there's not enough bullets in your gun, then it's not going to shoot that many, anyways.
Right.
That's how many hit. Okay. We have shot to the chest. He takes 2 more damage there. And then switch over to this guy. We will take a shot in the chest. You also take some damage. He's not stunned. I'm going to take a shot in the leg. Well, that's a lot of damage to the leg, actually. He's in critical condition already. Took a big hit there. And then... Oh, he's so you're peppering of bullets. He's extremely wounded now from being shot in the leg. He is now going to be doing his death save.
Oops.
He is surviving, though he's now in critical condition. Okay, so
That's why you knock.
We are now to Sig. Sig, it is your turn.
Yeah, she's going to pull her rifle up over the edge of the bed and sight it at the first man walking through the door and shoot. I hit roll or auto fire?
So we'll have to make sure if your modifier's done.
Mm-hmm.
See, rifle, you get a +3 because we're auto firing and it's also close range. So go ahead and roll the button that says roll next to your gun. Okay, so 7 of your shots will hit. So next to the blue button, there's that number 1. You'll switch that to 7, and then you'll push the blue button. Okay, so are you going to shoot both of them or split the shots, or a single shot to one person?
I'm gonna gun for whoever looks a little bit more sturdy right now, because I know one of them is downed, right? One of them's doing death saving throws.
Yeah,
yeah. So whoever's standing, I'm focusing all of my shots at them.
Okay. Sounds perfect. All right. You're going to shoot him in the leg, and this is going to deal quite a bit of damage. 10 damage. Actually, -4. So that's 6 damage. He's already stunned, so I'm not going to re-stun him. You're going to shoot him in the right arm for a lot of damage, 7. So he's
Does he still have an arm?
He does still have an arm.
That's
so he's going to
unfortunate.
save. He's going to do his death save. Okay, he's still standing, but for just this moment. Okay, so 10 lower right leg. See, I did that one. Okay, he's going to take a shot in his arm as well, though he's just going to take 1 damage. He's going to do another save. Okay, he's not dead yet. Let's see, next. Ooh, 22 shot. Let's see, to his upper left leg. That's 10 damage plus or -4 to 6. Save. Okay, so he's miraculously still standing still. We still have 2 more shots.
He's saving it all, man. She's just yelling, "Why won't you die, fucker?"
He's going to take another 4 damage. Okay, so how do you want to say anything as you're killing him? Because he's now dead.
Did she get any like good headshots on him, or is it all body shots?
You did not get a headshot. It's all body.
Yeah, you just kind of see her, like, her gun is just above the edge of the bed, and she's got like an elbow out on the bed, kind of stabilizing herself, and she's just popping rounds off as you see the guy in the doorway. It's just like and she's seeing him hold on with like everything that he's got, and she's like, "Just fucking die already!" And as she says that, you just see him like drop in the doorway. I still have movement because I didn't move. I just shot.
So yes, you would still be able to move.
She's gonna like duck back down. How does reloading work? Is that an action?
That is an action.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah, so she's just gonna duck back down under the bed for that cover again.
Okay. Axel, you are recovering from this shot to the leg, so you can make another death save or a stun save. I mean.
God, you want to kill me off already?
Okay, you come to your senses,
Nice.
but it's now Mimi's turn.
Okay. Can you? I'm sorry, Doro. Can you make sure I have my modifiers right before I hit this roll button?
Okay, so you are doing close range with your Uzi.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
so you get a +3 because you're close range,
Nice.
and well, a +3 because you're auto firing. I mean,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
then close. Yep, go ahead. Push the roll button next to Uzi.
Okay. I'm doing it. Wish me luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Godspeed.
Thank you. Here we go. Maybe like pops her little head up with the Uzi, with Baby Phil, and Baby Phil's head is dangling.
I forgot to give you smart goggles, so you get a +2 on that as well.
Damn it! Do you want me to roll again? Oh,
No, it's okay.
okay.
I almost had to. So, 3 of those shots hit.
Outstanding.
So we'll turn that 10 to a 3 on next auto fire,
Okay, got it.
and then push auto fire.
Turn the 10 to a 3 and auto fire. Do it. Proud.
Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da.
So this first one, you're gonna shoot him in the lower left leg, though his skin weave is gonna able to stop that.
It's very annoying. I wish that you hadn't said that. Hello?
Is she shooting at the guy that's trying to make death saves right now?
Yes.
Beautiful.
We have a shot in the left arm, and that's gonna penetrate, though you only do 1 damage. It's gonna do a mortal save though, because he just entered his mortal saves. Okay, he's gonna save.
Why won't he die?
Just die! Mimi's just like, you just see like Mimi like glazed over just with the Uzi other hand. Just kidding. Baby Phil. Baby Phil's going everywhere. I'll be like my sound effects. I do all my own sound effects, don't worry.
It's beautiful.
The third shot does not penetrate his torso armor, unfortunately.
That's annoying.
Yep. So we are back to him though. He's gonna make his save.
Can he die now?
He falls over dead. His wounds have taken him, even though he only has 1 mortal wound. So
It's embarrassing.
Pretty
Absolutely embarrassing. Wow.
he's dead. So the last one, the one that's outside, he is going to make an exit. He's gonna, get out of there, knowing that his 2 comrades have perished.
Can Mimi try and chase after that guy?
By the time you get out there, he'll be long gone.
Mimi's pissed. Mimi's just standing in the parking lot of this motel with her Uzi in hand. And she's just like so fucking mad right now. And it maybe you hear Mimi like just like let out this like guttural at him.
Yeah, I think Sig stands up. She's got her rifle drawn and she's is the room still very smoky?
It's dissipating, but yes, it is
Okay.
still. It's like lowered down to the floor.
She could see her sister outside, and before she goes out there to her, she's just gonna do a quick check on Adriana. How does Adriana look?
She looks terrified.
Was she hit?
No, she's in the corner, in a fetal position.
In the spotlight?
Yes.
She losing her
her-
religion? Son of a bitch. After getting a glance at her and seeing no markings on her, she's gonna walk outside and step next to her sister. See which way he ran.
Ref. Did I see which way he went?
No, you didn't even see him initially. You just-
Mimi. Oh, bastard. He's just
You
gone.
saw the bullets. Yeah.
Mimi doesn't look at you. She's just looking out into the night and just shakes her head no.
Well, sure, it won't be long until he brings more goons back to us. She like looks down to her leather pants. Gonna need a new pair of pants.
How serious is Axel's shot in the leg? Because I mean, it's all of my light is done. Would I be like screaming for some medical help, or is it a flesh wound?
You got shot. There's definitely a hole there.
He would like yell out, Mimi, could I get some bandages over here?
I think that Sig would normally see a light in Mimi's eye at this, like the delight in tormenting Axel, over bandaging him. But in this moment, you don't see anything like that. The light's gone out. And in the darkness, she sort of looks up at you. And you might know now that that look she gave you into going into that voodoo shop was most certainly a goodbye. And she slowly turns and heads back up to the motel room. And she'll walk in and she'll look at you, Axel. And she'll try and, I guess, flip the light on. And then with the Uzi still in hand, she walks over and then looks at you and sort of gives you a once over and is going to try and give him some medical attention. I'm assuming you want a first aid roll, Duro.
Yes, please.
19.
Okay. Yes, you're able to patch him up enough that he will heal just fine.
She doesn't say anything to Axel, and again, you might notice that she doesn't give you a candy, she doesn't pester you, she doesn't call you a fucking cop bitch, nothing. There's nothing. There's something, perhaps just utterly vacant. And as she looks at you, she sort of stands up, looks over her work, and then looks back to the rest of the room. She'll look at Adriana, she'll look at Colt, and by the time Sig gets back in, she'll look at her as well. And something, perhaps in that moment, perhaps back on the boat with Clearly after the explosion has died inside of Mimi. And I think seeing dead bodies and her first gunfight saw that it was buried.
this makes Sig think back to the first time she ever shot somebody. And she's going to give her sister a little distance on this because she knows how hard it was for her. And she's going to look over everybody. No one else is like seriously hurt.
No one else was hit.
Okay.
You all have really good armor.
Right. Maybe I should get us a new room for the night. One with a window.
I'm gonna go take a walk around the hotel.
Yeah. Do what you gotta do, Bug. I understand. Here if you need to talk.
Yeah. I'll be back.
Okay.
And Mimi's gonna step out and she's gonna go walk, and when she goes walking, she doesn't stop at the perimeter of the hotel. Duro, when I did that research earlier, was I able to come up with anything?
Yes. You found nearby a place called Big Daddy Bionics.
Get us a daddy while you're there. A rich one.
All right. Mimi's gonna remember the way. I think she's smart enough to remember how to get there, or where to figure out where to get there. She'll go straight to Big Daddy Bionics.
Big
Okay.
Daddy. For all your bionic needs.
You know the way where you're going. And as you approach the half-submerged shotgun shack, the generator emanates a low hum and the lights flicker a freakish glow.
She'll go in.
As you enter the tilting shack, your nostrils sting with the acrid scent of sterilizing agent, poorly masking the funk of swamp gas. Inside, you see grizzled old Big Daddy himself, an enormous bald man in blood-spattered overalls. You hear the buzzsaw that is mounted to his cyber arms whining as they articulate with his motions. What's a skinny, runner?
She's gonna look him over, and a sickly smile crosses over Mimi's face, and she sort of lets out a sigh. I've got 3,400 eddies on me right now. And that's all that Mimi has. That's the rest of her money. I want to be strong. And I want to be mean. What can you do for me?
That seems like a dangerous amount of chrome. You sure you know what you're doing?
Absolutely. I'm an old pro. And she's not. And maybe he knows that she's not, but she doesn't really care.
For liability purposes, I must inform you that Big Daddy is not responsible should you suffer any side effects, to include cyberpsychosis.
Okay.
Big Daddy wheels a operating chair to the center of the room. He motions for you to sit down.
She'll get on.
Big Daddy knows just what you need. He pulls out a syringe gun. Now hold still, Mama. Don't want to hurt you. You feel the punch of the syringe as he injects anesthetic into your shoulder. The whirl of his cyber arm tools start up as he begins to remove your flesh, replacing them with cybernetics. Big Daddy works until the morning sun breaks into the small shack. His tools turn off and he wipes the sweat off his head. Well, that's it. How you feeling, Mama?
I feel strong. And I feel mean. And she'll give him the money. And I think as long as she feels good enough to walk home or walk back to the motel.
Okay, you do feel woozy from the anesthetics, but you're able to make your way back.
By this point, would Sig have found a motel room already?
This is the next
Yep.
morning, right?
This is the
Duro?
next morning, yeah.
It's the next morning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Sig would have found a hotel room in the same like hotel because
Where else would Mimi go?
yeah,
Yeah.
and she would have probably stayed up for you pretty late, but then at some point would have fallen asleep waiting for you. I don't think she would have went looking for you. I think again, like she remembers her first time on a real job where she actually had to use her gun and that feeling, and she would have just kind of let you be and was just waiting there ready for you whenever you came back. But yeah, she would have definitely like fallen asleep.
That's perfect. I'm so glad you said that. Because Mimi wants to slip inside of the room, and I would imagine the front desk would tell her where the room is. Mimi wants to slip into the room while everybody's asleep. She has baby Phil in her lap. He's chambered, and she's watching you all while you all sleep. And she's gonna wait for all of you to wake up.
Well, considering I'm normally the first one up, I think maybe the light starts to hit the room, and just that little bit of light is enough to stir Sig. And I think she probably would have fallen asleep, like sitting up in the bed. She doesn't have her gun on her. She probably has the rifle on the nightstand, but her handgun's still in her jacket. And at that first bit of light, she would probably kind of jolt awake and like look around the room really quick, like instantly looking for you. Mimi? Bug? It's a long walk last night. I waited up for you.
Sometimes the walk has to take a little bit longer than you expected.
Is everything okay?
Right as rain.
You need to talk, Bug?
I think something is very clearly wrong in this moment to you. I think when you look at Mimi, you see an apparition of your sister. You're looking at a ghost, for sure. I think Mimi's eyes are sort of drawn. She glances to your rifle, and she'll glance back up at you. And that fragility, that brokenness of a spirit that's so tender in a girl so young, is beyond fractured. It's shattered. It's gone. It's falling by the wayside. And I think you'll see her gripping her Uzi, and you see that white knuckle hold she has on it. I don't know, man. I just feel a little bit different. You ever just feel different than everybody else?
Sig is very quickly glancing around the room to see the state of the rest of her group. What's everyone else doing right now?
I think Colt is still propped up against the wall in the corner. He's awake. He's observing what's happening right now. He always sleeps with his submachine gun since he's been hanging out with you guys. And he's just watching and listening to what's happening. But he is calm. He's just alert and aware of what's happening and observing.
I think Axel would have been in the same position as he was the other night, head down on the desk. But he's still head down but with his eyes open, listening to what's going on.
What's Adriana doing right now?
She's just waking. She's don't think she heard the conversations. She just kind of wondering why everybody's looking at Mimi.
I know that your first job is hard, and I've been protecting you all these years from these horrible things I do. And I'm sorry that you have to be a part of that now. I feel like I failed you.
I think Mimi's head's gonna sort of cant to the side. And she's gonna narrow her eyes at you, and she's gonna look at you, Sig, and she's gonna say, "Do you ever just shut the fuck up?" And in that moment, just like she was at the diner, she looks just like our dad. And she sounds just like him when he was talking to you or talking to our mom. Don't you ever just shut the fuck up? All you do is say you're sorry for protecting me. All you do is say you wish things could be better. But they're fucking not. They're not, Sig. Nothing's better. Look at where we fucking are. We're in a fucking dingy ass motel room with a dude who's so fucked up on synth coke he can't even keep his reality straight. We got a fucking cop bitch laying down on the ground. We got a clone. And then there's you. There's you, Sig. You're right. You have failed me. Time and time and time again, but it's not from dragging me along in this shit show. You stifled me. It's like that old fucking adage, right? You don't give kids a cup of coffee because it stunts your growth. Well, you're my fucking big old cup of joe, Sig. You stunted me. Do you understand how fucking smart I am? Do you understand how brilliant my mind is? And look at where I am. And it's all your fault. All of it. Fuck you.
You see Sig just trying her best to hold it all together. But all these flashbacks of her childhood, of her father, come just like whizzing to the forefront, and she doesn't see Mimi anymore. She sees her father, the tech junkie, the one who always thought it was the next job was the job and he was going to get his big break. Always going to the doctors, drilling more bits inside of his skull until it made him crazy. And as she's listening, the smirk on her face is dissipating. And she drops her face and she looks at her lap for a minute. You don't mean this?
You don't think I mean this? What are you gonna do, Sig? You gonna cry? Then cry, Sig. Make the big boo fucking who. Make it the Sig show. Cause what am I?
You're not my sister.
I'm nothing, Sig. I am both the Alpha and the Omega. The beginning and the end, man. And she has her Uzi and she's slowly raising it up. And for a second, you don't really know where she's going to point it, but it almost looks like she's going to point it on herself. But she has it just very, very slowly raising up. So what are you going to do, Sig? Sigourney, what are you going to do?
Sig's gonna very quickly grab her gun and point it at Mimi.
Fucking shoot, Sig. Do you got the balls to fucking do it? Pull the trigger, man, because I sure as fuck know you haven't pulled the trigger on anything else except for job after job after job. I might be nothing, but neither are fucking you. And then she's going to point the gun at Adriana. I can blow her brains out right now.
Sig brings the rifle up to her sister and she's pointing it at her head. And her hand is shaking. And you can see here. You're right. I am nothing, Mimi. Everything I was you. But you're not you. I know that. You're not my fucking sister. And she's gonna pull the trigger.
I don't think Mimi moves out of the way.
Would you like me to roll, Duro?
I'm just gonna give her that one.
Are you gonna give me a point blank headshot on Mimi?
You do if you want to roll.
Yeah, I'll roll. Why not?
Okay.
Make it fun.
Let's do a with your rifle, right?
Yeah, she's got her rifle drawn.
Okay, go ahead and push the roll button. All right, you get a direct hit to her head.
I'm assuming she doesn't move out of the way, Bones. You guys just hear a single shot fire off. And Sig brings her weapon back down. And she's gonna set it on the bed. And she's just kind of staring at the hole in her sister's head as she's kind of slumped back in the chair now. He's gonna stand up and move over to the body. And she's gonna take Mimi into her arms. And cradle her head. And she just starts sobbing. I failed you. I tried so hard to make it right. To do everything that I was supposed to. Because life failed me. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. You weren't supposed to be like him. I did everything to make you not like him. Son of a bitch! She places a kiss on Mimi's head. And she just leaves. She walks out the door.